What's up, everybody? Mark with Ecom Warriors. Today we're going to be making another e-commerce video where we talk about the difference between Shopify and Amazon.com, specifically FBA. Where do you want to sell? Amazon, FBA? We're even going to talk about the regular Amazon marketplace without FBA, and we're even going to talk about Shopify. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, essentially lay out the differences between the two, right? You can see here I have Shopify.com, and here I have an example of an Amazon product. I'm going to lay out the differences, some of the similarities, some aspects that you have to understand before you get into. And I know that this video is going to help out a lot of people because I wish I knew this before I had started. I wish there was a video out there like this to explain this kind of stuff. And with me personally, I first started with Amazon, believe it or not. And things kind of developed later down the road. And I ended up, building my own website and things like that. Ended up selling that same business that I started that was on Amazon and on having its own website. I didn't have Shopify at the time. Shopify, it did exist, but people didn't know about it as much. So I just want to share some of the information that I know about it. And being that, I've built many different businesses and I've succeeded in almost all of them, I can say that there are different experiences that I had with different businesses. Now, when I say I've succeeded with almost all of them, it's just simply, guys, because I haven't given up and I stuck with that business. At the time when I was building my first business, I didn't have the luxury of moving from business to business to business because I only had only like $1,000 to invest. And all that money that I invested was in physical product. So I had really no choice but to make the business work. And that's exactly what I did. So now let's go ahead and talk about some of the differences. So we have Amazon as a platform, right? And then we have Shopify as a platform. But they're two different platforms entirely. So what Amazon is a marketplace. And obviously you guys already know that. But as a seller, you have to realize that Amazon comes with the benefit of bringing in traffic to your product. Now there's a caveat to that, which we'll talk about in a minute. When you create a business on Shopify, you are not really essentially promoting that you're on Shopify. There is no Shopify marketplace. You're essentially building a website, and Shopify is a platform that allows you to build that website. So it's entirely different. So the same way Amazon.com is a website, Shopify.com is a website, and your business that you decide to build on Shopify.com will have its own website as well. So the structure is a little different. Now let's just say you wanted to sell this product and this was your product, right? Well, there's two different ways to do it. You could either ship it into Amazon and they'll take care of it. That's called Amazon FBA, fulfilled by Amazon. You can hold the products at your house or your warehouse or wherever and create an account on Amazon and list the products on Amazon so that once the product sells, you're the one who's shipping it out. And that's the same thing as Amazon, but it's just not FBA. You're not going to get any of that Prime benefit, right? That Prime shipping. And then you have here Shopify, where you're going to have to actually take the product, upload it to Shopify's website or your website on Shopify, enter the inventory, enter the price, and create a website around that product. So it's different. Now, something that I will say with this whole Amazon benefit is that, like I said, you get the free traffic. But here is the thing. There is a caveat. The caveat is that in 2021, there's so much competition on Amazon that you're really going to struggle just posting any random product. And that's why in the Amazon marketplace or in the Amazon world, you have people that do product research, which is arguably one of the most important things when it comes down to Amazon. Now, something that I will say with product research is that it gets harder and harder as the days goes on because the marketplace is always getting new sellers. It's always getting new buyers too. And it's basically like the wild, wild west. By the time you order the products overseas and they might come, you're risking the chance of that product essentially being inflated due to competition. So you want to pay attention to that, okay? Shopify is completely different. Since you have your own platform, you have your own website, you're allowed to take your product and set whatever price you want. You don't have to worry about price competition because you are the one who's responsible for bringing in the traffic. Now, something that I will say is Amazon takes a very heavy price for that traffic that they're bringing in, and they charge sellers a lot of money. If you want to learn about profits and things like that, you can go search on Google. There's an Amazon FBA calculator, right, where you can kind of calculate how much profit you're going to get. And you can also look at different businesses that are for sale, that are FBA style businesses, and you will see that the profit margins are extremely low, but they do sell a lot in revenue. So you have to be aware of that. So a business that's, let's say, generating 30 grand a month maybe could make you 3 to 5 grand a month if you're lucky. Okay? So in profit, of course. So and that's if it is successful. A lot of the businesses on Amazon are simply not successful because about 20% of the products on the Amazon platform are getting all the sales, literally. And so you have to be aware of that. And so if I do a basic search for a product, let's just say I search here for a headset, right? There are millions of different products. You'll see here on the first page, there's hundreds of different options. And let's just see how many pages. There's over 400 pages of these products. So this is just a simple example of why there is so much competition. So now I'm going to talk about what, the key to selling and being successful on these two different platforms, what they really are. So with Shopify, the key to being successful is understanding marketing and the psychology of sales and also generating traffic. Those are the three most important things. So I'll just talk about that real quick. Marketing, I made a video on that yesterday where I talked about how to create a good ad and I mentioned marketing and things like that. You have to learn about generating certain kinds of traffic to your website, whether it be through ads or whether it be through Google SEO and different kind of methods. And also, there are different kind of ideas behind that, right? Some people prefer to go an organic, a less cost-effective way, or a more cost-effective way, which is essentially free, like SEO. Some people decide, hey, I want the traffic right now, I want ads, and they pay for the ads, and obviously it costs more money, but they make it work, right? Amazon, as opposed to, is different, right? So when you put the product up, it's going to get organic traffic by nature, assuming that you rank within Amazon. Now, the key to be successful with Amazon is there's two really golden rules. And the golden rule is that you need to figure out a product that has high demand and low competition. Does that make sense? High demand, low competition. This is essentially the inverse of the regular supply and demand chart that we know of in e-commerce 101 or economics 101, right? Supply demand basically states that when there's more demand, there's less supply, right? Because if there's more need for the product, it's being purchased up, there's less supply. If there's more supply, then and the costs go up, right? Then there will be less demand. Okay, not necessarily related to supply, but demand affects supply. Now, there's always demand on Amazon, but there's also more competition, which creates the problem, which is why I tell people all the product research is for Amazon is you need to find a product that's low in competition, but high in demand, high in search. Now, you can ask me, how do I find that and things like that? They're out there. There are different methods. I won't talk about them today, but that's part of the research and part of the game behind it, right? Any course that you buy that's $500, $300, they're all basically going to come to the same solution at the end of the day. Everybody knows how to create an account on Amazon. Everybody knows how to set up ads on Amazon, which is, Amazon has its own ads platform that you could pay for, PPC and CPC type clicks, cost per click. They have their own click-by-click kind of platform where you pay for advertising on Amazon. And, something that you want to know is that all of that is meaningless. And you'll find that when you start selling on Amazon is that you're not going to be able to afford the ads simply because, unless you're keeping it in your mind and for a fact that you're going to take a loss in the beginning just to boost up your views, you're probably going to be taking a loss with your ads, assuming that you're not following that golden rule. And the golden rule, like I said for the third time, is you need to find a product that is high in search volume, high in demand, right? But low in competition. Competition is the most important key, even if it's so low in search volume. As long as the demand, as long as the competition is low, you're gonna help yourself out there. Now, with Amazon, it doesn't matter how much with Shopify, it doesn't matter who else is selling the product. The reality is you're in a game, it's you versus you. You're not really competing against anyone else. You have to build your own website, build your own product, drive your own traffic to the website, okay? Which is really a more 360 learned approach behind marketing. The best thing I can relate Amazon to is eBay in a way, where it's a marketplace where you're competing with other people. The only difference is there are more fees associated with Amazon. Obviously, it's a more premium platform for both the seller and the buyer. There's better services associated with it. The only thing I would say is that Amazon, in my personal experience, I'm not bashing Amazon, but Amazon is very, very customer oriented. It's not seller oriented. And in my opinion, if you're a seller who's struggling to make money, you should not be starting with Amazon. Now, I'm not saying you can't be successful, okay? And like I said, I'm picturing the average person here watching this video. Maybe they have $1,000, $2,000 that they are willing to spend on some physical products that they're deciding to sell. I would say you can put some products in Amazon and see your results. I wouldn't be spending any ads if you're a beginner. What I would be focusing on is building your marketing knowledge, which you could take your product, put it on Shopify, right? And start learning how to actually advertise, start learning how to drive traffic, start learning how to build a website properly, okay? And with that knowledge, you can take that knowledge and actually boost up your Amazon sales. And like I said, there's only 3 things that matter when it comes to Shopify, is the demand, the competition, and your reviews. Pricing is not that important unless you're battling for the 1 or 2 spot between a competitor. Pricing is not the end all be all. Okay, it really comes down to reviews if you want to stand out. So, for example, this product here that has 25,000 reviews, okay, is going to stand out versus, let's say, this product that has 858 reviews. I'm not saying it's not going to be successful or one is going to beat the other, but it does make a difference. It makes a huge difference because what it really means, not even from a consumer perspective, but from an algorithmic perspective, is that this product is going to be shown more times than this one will, okay? And if it's shown more, it's simply going to make more money, okay? So you want to be aware of that. But honestly, if you want to do both, do both. You will be paying storage fees on Amazon to put your products for FBA. And what I would do is whenever a product sells, right, and you don't want to ship it out, just manually go to fulfillment by Amazon, put the consumer's address in, and send it to them. Until you start learning how to market and until you start getting copious amounts of sales on your Shopify store, then you can kind of step off of Shopify. But without, essentially discrediting each platform, they both have their benefits and they both have their drawbacks, right? With Shopify, you're creating your own website. You're not getting access to loads and loads of traffic potentially to your product. With Amazon, you're getting access to loads and loads of traffic, but the fees are stupendously high, okay? As a seller, you'll find that out yourself. The profit margins are cut. I'm one of those guys that enjoys large profit margins. That's just me, all right? I don't know about you guys, but that's my opinion. I would rather sell one product or make $500 off of than sell 500 products where I make $1 off of. That's my opinion. The benefits to Shopify, yes, it is a more lonely route, right? Because you're not, on a marketplace that brings in traffic and things like that. But to be honest, for a long-term business, you should be getting your own website anyway, and you should be learning how to build a business through a website. Different tasks like SEO, search engine optimization, right? Keyword research, backlinking, learning how to create ads for your business, learning how to, generate traffic that are aside from ads, create different partnerships, things like that. You will be aided tremendously in this kind of world, as opposed to, living on Amazon for years and, let's say, making sales but not knowing how the sales get there, how the traffic generates, right? The only thing that's special about Amazon is the amount of people that are already on Amazon. Well, if you learned how to build a business like Amazon, where you're driving traffic to a website, well, then you don't really need Amazon. And that's actually something that I learned in my personal businesses, is that, me and my dad, we talk about this all the time, is that, once we learned how to do marketing properly, we didn't need Amazon. Amazon was irrelevant. The only reason we joined Amazon in the beginning was to get that search volume. Now, if you happen to have a product on Amazon that is reaching higher and higher in the search ranking, okay, because of your reviews, because of your sales and things like that, well, then you're in the benefit there, and you're actually going to benefit from a financial perspective, and just treat it as a passive income type business where you're the middleman, you just fill in the products, right? But realize that there's always going to be a new product out there competing with you, and there's always a lot of drawbacks. Amazon, the FBA platform, has something called gating, product gating, and the more competitive it gets on Amazon, the more gating Amazon is going to do, because what happens is with gating is that Amazon is trying to slow down the amount of sellers and protect their customers. At the end of the day, I've seen this in consumables. I've seen this in topicals type stuff like lotions and things like that. Amazon is very strict on these kind of things. They want to make sure it's a reputable distributor that you're getting your stuff from, right? Where you need invoices and proof of, conversations and things like that, proof of payment, things like that for the products. And on top of that, they do that, like I said, to limit the amount of listings. If you look here, for example, headphones, right? 400 pages of headphones. If I go to page 3, the list just goes on and on and on. And it's really the same stuff, right? You could close your eyes and point at one of these products. It won't make a difference. You're all getting the same result, and that's a headset that probably performs close to the same, assuming, that, it's the same type of product. But you guys get my point here. There are benefits to both. You just have to figure out where you want to be. And obviously, it does make a difference on your product. If like I said, if your product fits that golden rule where your product is serves high demand but is in low competition, then you should be listing out your product on Amazon, and probably in the meantime start learning Shopify while you're making some money. But if your product is one of these regular products like that are where there's so much competition, and you're dedicated to selling that product, start on Shopify or any other website building platform. All right, guys? I'll talk to you guys later. Hopefully this video helped you out, give you some background knowledge. That's all I got to say. Peace.